So a question that I get asked all the time is how do I generate traffic to my print-on-demand store on Shopify? I've not really gone over this in too much detail before, so I thought I'd make a video today going over the 6 types of short-form content that work for print-on-demand. So this is going to be how to generate free traffic through organic content. So when you're making content for your print-on-demand business, you need to remember that you're effectively building a product-based business around a niche, meaning that your content has to resonate with a particular audience. So you don't just want to constantly hard sell with your content, you want to build a page and a brand that your audience truly cares about, and in turn, if they care about your page, care about your brand, they will inevitably turn into buyers. And that is exactly what I've done with my content. So here's the analytics for my TikTok and for my Instagram. We got the last 365 days for TikTok, 12 million views on my posts. Last 90 days for Instagram, 320,000 views. So yeah, combined, that's a lot of traffic, and in turn, this traffic turns into buyers on my Shopify store. And most people go wrong when they're making content for their business because they think, I'm a business, so my content just has to be sell, sell, sell. But the truth is, there's more to building a brand than just selling your products, and you don't just want to look like an advert, because at the end of the day, nobody likes being sold to. People like buying things, but they don't like being sold to, and especially when it's a hard sale. So one of the best examples of this is Red Bull. They rarely feature their products in their marketing, and instead they focus on building a feeling around their brand, and in turn everyone associates the feeling of extreme sports and adventure with Red Bull. And then in turn, because Red Bull have created that feeling around their brand, fans of their brand naturally turn into buyers. And that's what you've got to essentially be in the mindset of when you're creating content for your business. Like I say, you don't just want to be sell, sell, sell. Obviously, you can hard sell here and there, but if you're just looking like an advert, you're going to find it very difficult to stand out and gain any real traction. So that brings me nicely on to the 6 pieces of content that I've found work really well for print on demand. And the best thing about these 6 pieces of content is they can work and be adapted to pretty much any niche. So the first one I want to talk about is memes and shareable content around your niche. Now on the right hand side I've got why this works, and on the left hand side I've got a goal as well as an example. So I'm going to go left to right, talk about the goal first, show you the example, and then go through why that piece of content works. So the goal with memes and shareable content is to get likes, get shares, get follows. There's no hard selling, you just draw in the right people in who are interested in the type of content you're posting. So an example of a page that does this really well is Dobby Club 06. Now Dobby Club 06 is essentially a peep show theme page. They've got their own website that they sell merchandise on. I'm 99% sure some of it is print on demand. And essentially what they do, they post peep show related memes, they get traction, they draw the right people in, those people being people who are interested in peep show, and then when they're ready to drop merch and hard sell, they've already got a bunch of people who are connected with their page, who are ready to buy from them. So like I say, why this works, memes are the easiest way to go viral inside a niche. They're quick to make, they're highly relatable, and most importantly, they're shareable. People tag their friends, they repost the memes, and they follow you for more content, which is similar. So like I say, even if it doesn't sell directly, it builds awareness and pulls the right audience to your page. Think of it as top of the funnel content. You make them laugh, you make them follow, and then in the future you sell to them. So moving on to the second piece of content that I've found works really well for print on demand stores is behind the scenes content. So the goal with behind the scenes content is to build trust, show people the process, and make them feel part of your world, because like I say, you're building a product-based business around a niche, around a feeling. So people like to see the work that goes into the designs and everything like that. So an example I've got here is a colouring book on TikTok. Now these, I'm sure you've seen them, they're very viral and they're doing really well for people at the minute. But essentially what they've done here is they've shown behind the scenes content of their product in a real life scenario, so you can see exactly how the product looks when it's coloured in. And this works really well because these kind of colouring in videos, they're satisfying, they kind of got an ASMR feel to them, and they're just an easy watch. So other behind the scenes content you can do is making the designs. You can do packaging videos. Obviously it's print on demand, so you won't technically be packaging them yourself, but for the sake of content, you can make videos like Pack and Order with me and just pretend. So yeah, like I say, why this works, people love seeing the process. So whether it's designing a t-shirt, packing an order, uploading it to Etsy or Shopify, what behind the scenes content does is build trust, and it shows people and potential customers that there's a real person behind the brand. And yeah, it makes people feel involved in what you're building. And trust is so important, because if somebody trusts you, then they're more likely to buy from you further down the line. And moving on, we've got storytelling and personal content. Now this is quite similar to behind the scenes content, and what you're doing with storytelling and personal content is, again, building trust and just kind of showing the people that are following you there is a real person behind the brand. So yeah, like I say, the goal with this, connect emotionally, give meaning to your brand and build loyalty. An example of someone who does this really well is this person called Illustrious Studios. And what they do is they design products such as mugs, t-shirts, things like that. And their goal is to collaborate with different football clubs. Now, obviously, this person isn't a print-on-demand seller, but that doesn't mean you can't do some content similar for your brand, because like I said earlier in the video, don't think of it as a print-on-demand business as such. Think of it as a product-based business that you're building around a feeling, around a niche, and all you're doing is using print-on-demand as your fulfillment service or fulfillment method. So a lot of people find print-on-demand quite limiting, or they limit themselves, should I say. And what they tend to do is they just use standard generic mock-ups, but what you have to do with your brand is make yourself stand out. And yeah, a good way to do this is by storytelling and personal relatable content. So why this works: stories sell, they create emotion, connection and meaning, whether it's why you made your first design, whether it's why you created a certain design, your first sale moment, or something funny that happened within your business. Storytelling essentially turns your brand into more than just a product. Moving on to the next piece of content that works really well for print on demand, we've got UGC and affiliate marketing. So the goal with this type of content is to build social proof, trust, and increase your overall conversion. So the example I've got with this is just a skincare product and a UGC creator. But as you can see, 28,000 likes, so that's probably 300,000-ish views, something like that. So no doubt that piece of content would have converted into sales for this brand. Now, affiliate marketing is something that I also use for my own business. And as you can see, my all-time affiliate stats on this Shopify store, I've had 220 affiliate orders, and that has equaled 5,200 in sales. So affiliate marketing and UGC style content is worth using 100%. You've just got to kind of find the right people to promote your products. And it works really well because UGC doesn't feel like an advert, it feels more like a recommendation. So when someone sees someone else wearing your t-shirt or your brand, it builds the trust instantly. And if you're using affiliates, obviously it's free content for your page also, and you only pay the affiliate when they make a sale. So it's kind of like a risk-free way of advertising your products. Moving on, we've got product showcases. Now this one's quite self-explanatory, but the goal with this is to just show the actual product and let the people see what they're buying. So the example I've used for this is this brand here called Orbital Clothing. They posted this reel, simply just showcasing their product and what it is they sell. It's a funny t-shirt that says, "I love dumb blondes." Obviously this can be interpreted in two ways. So that's something you got to think about when you're doing your product showcases as well. If the product's funny, then it also has a chance to go viral. So I recommend throwing in a few funny designs into your store that you can use and kind of tie in the meme content with your product showcases, because yeah, like I say, it'll just get more eyes on the page. So going over why this works now, sometimes people just want to see the product, what it looks like, how it fits, the little details. It removes hesitation and it gets people one step closer to buying. So yeah, like I say, this is a hard sell tactic and I don't recommend doing it all the time, but you've definitely got to mix in some product showcases now and again. And moving on to the final piece of content now, we've got educational and value-based content. So the goal with this is to be helpful, get followers who trust you, and then come back for more later on. Because if you get followers who trust you, like I said earlier in the video, they're more likely to buy from you in the future. So the example I've used with this is this person posted a TikTok, best appreciating cars below £10,000. And you know, this works really well. Obviously, I assume this person is in the car niche. So people interested in cars, they'll follow his page, and then in the future, if he does release car-related products, they're more likely to buy from him. So yeah, that is why educational content works really well, because it makes people follow you even if they're not ready to buy yet. You're giving them something helpful, interesting, or insightful completely for free. So over time, they'll trust you more, engage more, and eventually some of them will convert into customers. So yeah, I just want to quickly run through again the 6 pieces of content that work for print on demand. Just a little recap. So we've got educational and value-based content, product showcases, UGC and affiliate marketing, storytelling and personal, behind the scenes, and memes and shareable content around your niche. So I hope you found this video helpful and it's given you a little bit of inspiration on what you should be posting to get views, sales and conversions for your print on demand store. That's everything for today and I will catch you next week.